Welcome to It's Major. I'm Tabor Cook, Coordinator of Undergraduate Recruitment at Mississippi State University, and we are so excited you are here. Mississippi State is a large, comprehensive institution with over 180 majors and emphasis, and each of those opportunities live in a unique academic home. It's Major is a series highlighting all of those academic colleges and their abilities. And today, it's Major with Engineering. Now, the Bagley College of Engineering is home to 8 engineering departments. Over the last 100 years, the Bagley College of Engineering has graduated over 15,000 graduates and now is home to 4,500 future engineers. Now, those engineers are ready and equipped to do some amazing things, and I think it's a perfect time for us to speak to one of those today. And I want to bring in Nirmal Bhatt, who is a mechanical engineering student here in the Bagley College of Engineering. Welcome, Nirmal.
Hi.
How are you today, man?
I'm doing well. It has been a rough week full of homework assignments, projects, and trying to prepare for everything, but we're going strong.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And you are a mechanical engineering, and what year are you?
I'm currently a junior.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from, and how'd you get here?
So I'm originally from India, so I'm an international student, and right now my parents are in Collierville, Tennessee. And so I graduated from that high school, and I learned about Mississippi State while I was there, and it just really resonated with me. The environment in which not only they taught you engineering, very well, by the way, but also creating this home away from home kind of feeling where they were able to bring you in and create the support system around you and this community that wanted you to succeed. And so that's the reason why I've been involved in so many different things, because I have people that are supporting me, whether I'm doing activities with Space Cowboys, or I'm learning speech and debate, or I'm doing a whole lot of other things with the College of Engineering as well.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned about having a home away from home. And when you were a senior in high school, what was important to you during your recruitment process?
So in fact, I actually visited Mississippi State University, and I had an interaction with an engineering recruitment leader. And having that one-on-one kind of interaction where they talked to me and kind of laid out a plan for me about what I wanted to do and how I could explore my interests at Mississippi State was very important. So just getting that kind of feel for this personalized connection that not many colleges will offer you.
That's great, and we enjoy that personal feel, which is why we're doing these events, so we can get a chance to talk to our students and our prospective students one-on-one. Now, Nirmal, you have had opportunities to do so much here on our campus, and I see that you've done a great deal of research. Let's talk about your research experiences.
Yeah. So one of the best things I've done on campus is research. And so it's very easy to get in contact with the professor that you wanted to research with. All you have to do is shoot them an email, and they're very open because they want undergraduate students to work with them. As for my experiences, I've lately been working in a lab with one of my mechanical engineering professors who I met through one of my classes. So very easy connection over there. And I've mostly been working on modeling a part of an energy system, trying to make sure that we're able to not only have an accurate modeling scheme for that, but also applying that to different types of models so that we can write papers about it, obviously, and also make sure that we can turn that into concrete applications.
That is awesome, and you lost me at energy, but I'm here. That was great. And so here's a great opportunity. Tell our students how early you were able to get involved in research.
So I personally was a little bit late to the curve, but I know of many friends that got into research as soon as they were freshmen, basically. So as soon as you get a little bit more experience under your belt in your first semester, you can get started in your second semester or even in your first semester as a freshman. As long as you have the drive and you're willing to learn, professors are going to be able to support you and make sure that you're there and learning the things that you need to learn to set you up for continued research.
That's great. And why is research important for an undergraduate student to participate in?
So research comes with a lot of different skills. It has elements of communication, so you can communicate your research. It has elements of being able to apply the knowledge that you're learning in classes, which is very, very important, especially as an engineering student. And third and final, it asks you to kind of pick an area that you're interested in and explore that and kind of run with it. So you can better understand what you want to do in the future, whether that's you want to really pursue a job in the industry or you want to go to graduate school. And research can really help you kind of chart your path forward.
That's great. And I know a lot of students are hearing you speak about research, and they're probably thinking that you only do research in academics, but Nirmal is extremely involved on campus. Let's talk about some of your student involvements.
So one of my favorite things to do on campus is being a part of the speech and debate organization and also the Space Cowboys. And so two very kind of different things at odds you would think initially, but speech and debate allows me to hone and fine tune my communication skills and helps me become a better communicator and a better speaker, which is very, very important in today's world. And even when I go forward, communication, being able to talk to people, writing, very, very important. And on the other side of things with regards to Space Cowboys, I'm very involved in terms of applying my engineering education in a competition team. Now, when I first came to Mississippi State, I was very interested in learning about rockets and things like that, but I didn't have a lot of background information. And so working with Space Cowboys has enabled me to learn a lot of the aspects of rocket design and rocketry, and we've been able to compete in competitions so far.
So your work with Space Cowboys, is that related to your future career, or is that just a side hobby?
So it's funny you asked that, because I've been recently considering what I want to do in the future. And one of the big things I think that for me, while I enjoy aerospace and rocketry, I think that I'm going to start moving away from it a little bit because I'm getting more interested in the energy side of things. But it definitely intrigues me, and it's something I enjoy doing. So I love putting my time towards it.
That's great. It sounds like to me, based on your research experience and your involvement, you got a chance to shape your career and shape what you wanted to do in the future. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely. I think with regards to shaping my future, it also allows me to explore many avenues, because engineering is a very, very broad field, and you can kind of go any which way you want to. And so by having these experiences in college, I'm able to kind of streamline the path that I want to take, figure out what I like, what I don't like, and like that.
That's awesome. And did the Bagley College of Engineering really push you towards shaping your future?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we see professors all the time, and even peers that they're not only working towards their own careers and their own paths, but also encouraging you to do so. Professors want you to do research. There are numerous interest meetings out there for all these different organizations who reach out to you by email saying that, hey, we're here on campus, and that if you want to come work with us, we are more than willing to accept you. So there's plenty of room to grow and to be able to get involved in the numerous opportunities that the College of Engineering provides. It's just up to you to take the first step.
That's awesome, Nirmal. And for those who don't know, outside of building rockets and debating hot topics, Nirmal is actually one of our engineering recruitment leaders, where he actually recruits students like yourself. So, Nirmal, what's your favorite part of being an engineering recruitment leader?
I love being able to talk about my experiences and being able to help others that are in that process of selecting a college, because I've been through it, and applying to undergraduate colleges is one big experience that culminates in a lot of different things. It's a very big decision. And so if I can do anything to help students and their families make that decision in a better way, to give them more information, I enjoy doing that. And I think that's one of the biggest things about being an ERL for me.
So, Nirmal, for our students at home who are excited about visiting Mississippi State at some point, will they get an opportunity to meet with you and students like yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely. As someone that would be interested in engineering, you would be able to sign up for a tour and also work with engineering recruitment leaders such as myself, where we'd be able to give you a more personalized experience about the kind of things that you're interested in, talk about our experiences, and basically give you an idea of how you can best apply yourselves at Mississippi State University.
As you can tell, Nirmal has had the opportunity to create a multidisciplinary college experience here on our campus, and that's available to you. But I think it's a perfect time for us to learn more about those academic opportunities that we offer here. So let's hear from some of those academic opportunities.
With every simple click, our world becomes more interconnected, open, and vulnerable. At Mississippi State University, we're targeting online criminals and training the next generation of cybersecurity experts. That's great news for the military, Fortune 500 companies, and local law enforcement agencies who depend on our graduates in the fight against malware attacks and other cyber threats. By imagining the attacks that could happen, our student-led teams are learning to stop the ones that will. It's part of a cutting-edge curriculum at one of only a few universities in the U.S. to hold every academic certification awarded by the National Security Agency. That's why, in an age where many of the biggest threats we face go unnoticed from behind a screen, it's good to know that Mississippi State is on the other side, protecting our online identity with every simple click. In today's information age, speed and technology drive innovation and economic advantage. At Mississippi State University, our Orion supercomputer is among the fastest academic systems in the world. How fast? Wrap your mind around 5 quadrillion computations per second. What can we do with a system like this? What can't we do? When NASA had safety concerns with John Glenn's shuttle mission, they turned to us. When the Navy needed a better submarine, we helped design it. We built a better, safer engine cradle for the Corvette, assisted Homeland Security with cyber strategies, and predicted severe weather patterns for NOAA. We're changing the game for supercomputing while helping protect and shape tomorrow, opening up a whole new world of possibilities. The energy needs of the future are growing. New technologies are driving rapid expansion of business and industry, which means new skills and understanding are critical. More and more, devices power our day and rely on high-voltage electricity to deliver the services you need when you need them. At Mississippi State University, we're preparing the engineers of tomorrow in the largest university-operated high-voltage lab in North America. Through innovative hands-on training programs and partnerships that provide real-life opportunities to stretch students' capabilities and broaden critical thinking. We're building the workforce that will develop and deploy smart grid and other advanced technologies to enhance our lives and power our tomorrows. Flight. It's driven mankind's dreams for centuries. The ability to soar above the earth, to travel to faraway places, to connect distant points. Manned flights to the moon and space were once the stars for which we reached. Now, unmanned aircraft are the future. At Mississippi State University, our teams are developing unmatched unmanned aircraft systems for an array of critical applications. We're so good at it, the Federal Aviation Administration named MSU a Center of Excellence in the field, asking us to lead the team that's creating the operating regulations for unmanned aircraft systems worldwide. So essentially, we're writing the flight plan for an industry that is the future. Our work means better information, more opportunity, and limitless horizons for you. The sky really is the only limit.
Welcome back, and thank you to Narmal Bot, who did an amazing job. And it was great talking to Narmal. And if you want to meet more students like Narmal, please come to campus, and we'd love to connect you with some of our great engineering recruitment leaders. Now, you've heard from Narmal, who is a professional student, but I want you to meet someone who is the professional. I'm here with Joy Smith, who is our admissions coordinator for the Bagley College of Engineering. How are you, Joy?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. I'm so excited you could be here with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Now, you are the admissions coordinator for the Bagley College of Engineering. And so tell us about yourself and how long you've been with the college.
Yeah, so I am a Mississippi State grad 2 times over, hopefully going to be a 3rd time within the next couple of years. But I am the admissions coordinator, so I work with all of our prospective students, and I've been with the Bagley College of Engineering for about 14 months now.
Wow, it seems like so much longer.
It does.
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
So are you enjoying everything so far?
I love my job.
Awesome.
It's the most fulfilling thing I could ever do.
Gotcha. So now you are not a graduate of the Bagley College of Engineering, but now that you are there, what types of things are you learning?
Yeah, so I'm not an engineer, which I tell students in almost every single one of my campus visits. That's okay. My job is not to be an engineer. My job is to be a communicator. So my degree is in communication from Mississippi State. So I'm able to really talk through what our different departments and majors, what they encompass and how that applies to each of the students, and really kind of be able to lay it down for all of them.
That's awesome. And so now that you've been there for 14 months, what really stands out to you about the Bagley College of Engineering?
What really stands out to me is, I say this probably multiple times a day, but our students. As you heard with Nirmal, our students are what makes us so special, and we are a very student-centric college. From our deans down to our professors to all of our professional staff, we really are there to enrich and make sure that our students have the best education and educational opportunities that they can. And I think you can see with Nirmal, you have different ways to diversify that, and that's really, I think, what sets us apart. And also the fact that we train practical engineers. We train the problem solvers of tomorrow, so we are really making sure that our students get those opportunities.
And we heard about that before we came to this, and that we learned also about Space Cowboys, which Nirmal talked about as well. So tell us more about Space Cowboys and what that is.
Yeah, so Space Cowboys is one of our competition teams. So I say, you know, Mississippi State, we have national championships in education, and they fall in the College of Engineering. So whether it's Space Cowboys, which were the 2015 national champions in rocket building, so they, in layman's terms that I understand, their rocket went higher than anyone else's, but it's so much more than that. And as Nirmal, I think, explained, it's, you know, going out and doing outreach and showing students what they can do with that. So it's not only competing, it's also educating the youth of tomorrow. And also, like our other competition teams, like Eco Car Mobility Challenge, you know, we are one of 16 teams chosen by General Motors to compete, and we do pretty well in those competitions. So our students are very competitive, and they leave a mark wherever they go.
That's awesome. And you talk about that being a student competition. Do you have to be in particular majors to participate in those opportunities? Not
necessarily. Obviously, EcoCar, they have students from all over the university because you have to have a business plan, you have to have designers, but you have to have engineers. Space Cowboys, you can be other different disciplines. Obviously, Nirmal is not an aerospace engineering student, he's a mechanical, so no, not necessarily.
Well, so it sounds like to me that you're giving, in the Bagley College of Engineering, giving students another opportunity to just branch out and experience all types of things, no matter what their major is.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. Now, we talked about Space Cowboys, and we also heard something about a cyber program. And I'm really, really excited to hear about this new cybersecurity program.
Well, now that we are in the world of everyone is working virtually, the big topic is cybersecurity, right? How do we keep everything safe? So Mississippi State, we're one of the very few schools in the nation that have all the certifications in cybersecurity. We have a master's program in cybersecurity and operations. We are now, in the fall of 2021, offering a full undergraduate program in cybersecurity. That will be housed in our computer science and software engineering department.
Awesome. So for a student that's out there that's thinking about majoring in cybersecurity, but they're not sure if that's the major for them, what type of students are you looking for?
Honestly, if you like computers, it's really up to the student and what they see, where they see themselves. Obviously, computers are the future. They're now, right? We carry a computer with us all day, every day. You've got one in your hands. But if you are interested maybe in not only cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, video game design, app development, that's a big topic. You know, we're going to help train you to do that. We have classes. It's the most evolving department that we have because computers change, every 3 to 6 months. So we have to stay in the know. It's also one of the departments, or computers and computer science and software, it's one of the fastest growing job markets out there. It has the largest growth margin in the next 10 years. So if a student is looking for, if they're interested in computers or job stability, that's a great route to go.
So you heard that. If you're looking for a job and you like computers, cybersecurity is the place for you. Now, we talked about supercomputing too.
Yeah.
And so we are a top supercomputing institution. Will students who are interested in cybersecurity and computer software and all of those things get a chance to work in that area?
So it's all based on the research, what research that they may be involved with. Obviously, you know, we are very proud of Orion being the 5th fastest supercomputer in academia in North America. But we have students that are in chemical engineering doing polymer research that they are looking at how we can do computational like equations, looking at how we can kind of keep solar energy. And so we have a Chem E student that works with the supercomputer, because sometimes those computations take days, whereas Orion can do it in an hour. So it's mainly based on research and what professors they're working with.
That sounds like it would have helped me in trig.
Maybe a little bit.
I needed all the help I could get, that's for sure. Now, we speak a lot about groundbreaking research, and in our programs that we highlighted before we got to this section, we heard a lot about groundbreaking research. So tell us about the opportunities for students to participate in that groundbreaking research.
Yeah, so being a top 100 National Science Foundation research institution, we really value research, and we value students getting involved in undergraduate research. I have personally had students that have worked with vascular research, right? How we can reproduce our own vascular cells to put them back in our body to one day maybe get rid of heart transplants. Obviously, we haven't solved that yet. I just talked about the polymer research. You heard about Nermal's research. We have students that looked at how we can make the iPhone from a cheaper metal. Just lots of different types. We have our different research labs, like the Raspit Flight Laboratory, which is where some of our FAA research goes on, our Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems, because we do lead in automotive engineering here. So we have the HALO project, which is a fully autonomous SUV that we're working with that obviously goes off-road. So we're looking at safety. Then we have our car of the future, which I joke and say it looks like the 2020 version of the DeLorean, which high school seniors now may not know what the DeLorean is, but if I did, I just aged myself. But it's, fully electric and has computers on the dash, but it's really there to exhibit all the automotive research that we're doing. Or look at our cross-discipline research in athlete engineering, where it's housed in industrial engineering, and we work with biomedical and kinesiology, working with athletes to detect precursors to injuries and wearable technology in that. So there's lots of ways for students to get involved. It is competitive, but they can either get a directed individual study where it's course credit, or they get paid. But if you talk to a professor, and what I tell students in our campus visits is, go on our website. The research that we're doing is listed there, the ones that we can talk about. Obviously, there's some government that we can't, but go on our website, check it out, and reach out to the professor. If it sounds interesting, get to know them. We had a student do that before they even got to campus their freshman year, and they came in, started doing research their first semester of their freshman year. So we definitely encourage that, and as you can see, it's pretty helpful.
And it sounds to me that students are getting an opportunity to participate in research that really makes a difference, and that they're not just spending time in a lab just for credit, but they are really affecting the way we live. That's an amazing opportunity that excites me, and I know that excites our students back home. Now, tell us some other programs that you think are really what our students want to hear about.
Well, aerospace is one of the fastest growing departments that we have in the college, but that's anything that flies, right? So planes, rockets, drones, but it's also missiles and submarines and race cars. So we do aeronautics and astronautics, so anything within the Earth's atmosphere and anything outside. We have mechanical engineering, which is our largest engineering department, has around 1,000 students, but that's anything that moves. So anything with a mechanic system. You can look at our civil engineering department. We have a brand new civil engineering building that's getting constructed right now. We are very excited for the Rula Engineering and Science Complex to open in the spring of 2021. But that is where our civil engineering department is going to be held. That is one of the most renowned departments in the Southeast. A lot of people don't know that. Our department head for civil was actually elected president of the American Society of Civil Engineers for 2022, and that's made up of 150,000 professionals across the U.S. So kind of a big deal. But no matter what department our students go into, they're going to be equipped with an education that's not only a top-level education, but they're going to get that practical application to know what they're doing when they go to work. And that's something we pride ourselves on, is producing some of the best practical engineers on the market.
And you mentioned practical engineers and being able to do the job when you go get the job.
Yeah.
What are some jobs that some of our Bagley College of Engineering graduates are getting?
Oh, goodness. So we have students that go all over. Whether you want to stay here in the state of Mississippi, I don't know if you're an out-of-state student, maybe you don't want to stay in the state of Mississippi, maybe you're an in-state student, But we have students that stay here. We want you to stay here, obviously, and grow the state. But if you want to get out and really expand, you can. We work with companies like Boeing, Gulfstream, NASA. We work with the Army Corps of Engineers, Chevron, ExxonMobil, Nissan, Toyota, PACCAR, Airbus, that's right in Columbus, Mississippi, Aurora Flight Sciences. We have, just International Paper. We have partnerships with International Paper, Chevron. Taylor actually redid one of our labs. So we have relationships all over. So if a student wants to be in a smaller company, they can. But if they want a large global corporation, maybe like Dow Chemical, they're going to have the opportunity to do that. So our students are all over the place. And I will say Bulldogs love to hire other Bulldogs.
That's awesome. It sounds like a job, an opportunity to get a job, which I know you students are looking for. And I know you guys also have questions. I have plenty of questions, but get your questions into us, and we'll be sure to get to those at the end of this segment. Now, Joy, when students visit, now we've seen all these beautiful labs and all these opportunities that we have. When students are visiting campus, do they get an opportunity to see those a little closer? Or are there opportunities for them?
Well, we want to schedule that a little bit further in advance. I can't guarantee that because obviously we are in the world of COVID, right? And we really want to protect our instructional areas for our students and our professors. But if a student comes to visit campus, they meet typically with me and our engineering recruitment leaders, which you've already met one of those with Nirmal, and they get to hear about the student experience. Because I say this every day, but I'm cool for about 2.5 seconds. They get the general information that they need, and then it's like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. And then mom and dad the parents or guardians want to talk to me and really get the answers about scholarships and admissions and all this other stuff. But they want to know what it's like right now. Yes, we do take them on a quick little walkabout of Engineering Row because we don't just take up one building, and we show them and walk them past a couple of labs. But it's really about them hearing what the student wants to do with their life and how they can get there. And that really helps when they can talk to a student that's living the life that they want.
That's true, and I think you're cool for at least 5 seconds.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, get those questions into the chat box and so we can answer those. Now, Bagley is home to a host of academically talented students who boast an average ACT score of over 28. And I know many of those students find their home in the Shackles Honors College, so I think this will be a great time to hear from the Shackles Honors College.
Hi there everybody, my name is Wade Leonard. I'm the Outreach Coordinator at the Shackles Honors College, and today I wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about one of the fundamental pillars of the Shackles Honors College, which is study abroad. Specifically, I want to talk about our Oxford experience, as in the University of Oxford in England. The oldest English-speaking university on the planet Earth.
So Oxford University is the oldest English-speaking university in the world. By the late 12th century, at Oxford, there was something that was resembling a university. The charter came a few decades later, but that was about the same time or shortly after the University of Paris, before Cambridge. So Oxford's been around for a long time, and for I think the 3rd year in a row, they ranked the #1 university in the world in the world rankings.
This isn't a glorified vacation. This is you being a student at the oldest English-speaking university in the world. Some might argue the most prestigious university in the world. And you get to have a direct line there from Mississippi State University.
So we're very proud of our relationship with the University of Oxford and our Shackles Summer Study program at Oxford, which has been going on now for almost 10 years. And it is a unique program because we go not in the middle of the summer when it's tourist season in Oxford, but we go at the end of spring when it's still term time at Oxford. So our students get to take full advantages of what a normal Oxford student gets to do, including take class with an Oxford faculty member. So we have a relationship with the university. Our students get library privileges at one of the greatest libraries in the world, the Bodleian Library, and they get membership in one of the great colleges at Oxford, places like Christ Church, New College, and Trinity College.
7 years ago at Mississippi State, I studied abroad at the University of Oxford. I did a tutorial with a professor on literature. And that was my first time leaving the country, and it really just opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities and just different ways of viewing the world that I just didn't know existed before. And I just wanted more of that, which ended up leading to me applying to the Rhodes Scholarship and getting that.
But one of the things that I was very interested in doing as an undergraduate that I knew that the Shackles Honors College was very good at helping students do is to study abroad. But I hadn't really heard of many physics students studying abroad, and so I was a little discouraged that there wouldn't be any possibilities for that. But upon talking to Dr. Anderson and Dean Schneider, they made it clear that if you wanted to study abroad at Oxford, that the possibilities for what you study aren't really constrained.
The Oxford program is open to students from any major. They take one class with a faculty member from Mississippi State, that's a seminar, and the other class they take is a tutorial with an Oxford faculty member, and the student gets to choose that subject. So they come up with a subject, with a topic that they're interested in, and we find one of the world's leading experts on that topic at Oxford to teach them that tutorial. So really it can range from anything from traditional humanities classes to math, science, social science classes. We've had students studying equine medicine and students studying C.S. Lewis. So it really, the range is very large.
Tell you about another couple of ways you can keep up with everything that's going on in the Honors College. First of all, Honors has a podcast. It's called Honorable Mentions, and you can find it anywhere you get podcasts. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on Stitcher, it's on Google Play, it's on all the things. So check that out. Also, if you'd like to talk to me directly, you can email me anytime at wleonard@honors.msstate.edu, or you can visit me during one of my weekly Zoom sessions. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m., I host a Zoom session where I talk to people about the Honors College. So please join me for those. You can find the registration links at our website at honors.msstate.edu. That's honors.msstate.edu, or you can just go over to the Shackles Honors College Facebook page. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope I get to see you all sometime really, really soon.
Thank you, Wade, and to the rest of the honors team. Beautiful job. We've learned so much, and I actually wanted to go spend some time in Oxford, too. That sounds like a great experience.
I know. Can we go?
We'll leave and head there now. I've got enough gas. We can make it. Now, we've got plenty of questions rolling in, and our first question is, we keep speaking of meeting some of these great students and getting to meet you. What is the best way to visit the Bagley College of Engineering?
Yes, so good question. First and foremost, we want you to go through the admissions program. We want you to hear about the university as a whole and go on a tour of campus with one of our student tour guides. Then from there, you request a visit with engineering, and that comes directly to me, and I facilitate all of that. I schedule the students, I work the whole process, and that's whenever you come and visit us. So we update the itinerary and you come over and see us, but you go through the admissions office and schedule your official campus visit.
Awesome. And be sure to get your questions into the chat box or Q&A and choose all panelists so we can all see those questions. Noah Christensen asks, I know I want to be an engineering major, but how will Mississippi State aid me in finding exactly which form of engineering I would like to focus on?
That is a really good question. Was that Noah?
That was Noah.
Noah, great question. We know that students change their mind. They may not know what they want to study. You are 16, 17, 18 years old. You're not supposed to have your life figured out right now. So we actually have an engineering undeclared major. So if you don't know maybe what you want to study, you can come in as engineering undeclared. You take a course with our assistant dean, Dr. Robert Green, and he works through each of our engineering majors. Part of the final for that test, for that class, is declaring your major. So we help you, but I also tell students it's not uncommon for students to change their major their freshman year. So know that as long as you're changing within the College of Engineering, you're not going to be set behind if you change early on.
Oh, that's great. Now, another question is, I know that I've heard of engineering, but I want to get the opportunity to work as an engineer. Mm-hmm. Are there opportunities like that in the Bagley College of Engineering?
So to work for the college or work as an engineer?
Work as an engineer.
Yes, absolutely. I think looking at the job market, looking at stability, obviously we don't have a crystal ball. we don't know what the job market's going to look like in 5 to 6 years. However, being trained as an engineer, you're a critical thinker. You are a problem solver. And so you are going to be able to have job opportunities around. It may look different and it may have different titles than what you would imagine. However, there's going to be opportunities out there.
Awesome. Brandon Bueller asked a great question. How many companies recruit the engineers, and what is the pass rate on the FE exam?
Oh, that is a great question. I don't have this year's numbers for the FE exam. So email me, Brandon, and I will see if I can get that information for you. What was the first part of that?
How many companies recruit the engineers from Mississippi State?
Yes, so we actually have our own career center. It's on the 3rd floor of McCain Hall, which is where the main engineering building is located. We have over 270 companies that actively recruit our engineering students. And I named some of those a little bit earlier. So do not worry, there's lots of companies that come hunting engineering graduates.
Awesome. So for students who are minorities and interested in engineering, are there places in the Bagley College of Engineering that they can find a home?
Absolutely. We champion our underrepresented students in engineering, whether that is Black or African American or women. They are minorities in engineering. So we have lots of different programs for that. Dr. Angie Verdell, who is our Director of Diversity and Inclusion in the College of Engineering, we have a diversity suite. We have scores of engineering organizations like Society of Women Engineers, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. We have the National Society of Black Engineers. We have Mechanical has Milo, the Mechanical Engineering Ladies Organization. We have a partnership with Chevron. Chevron donates a nice bit of money to the university. We're very thankful, where they are, again, championing underrepresented students in engineering and helping provide opportunities for them. So that's the Chevron Create program. So lots of opportunities. We love every student in the College of Engineering, and so we definitely want to give you the resources. We have our bridge program, which is our summer bridge, where students can come in and they go through classes and they get mentor, and it kind of helps them get acclimated to the college experience before they get thrown into that fall semester. That can be a little bit of a whiplash, but yes, absolutely. We have lots of opportunities for underrepresented students within the College of Engineering.
That's awesome. Again, be sure to put your questions in the chat or Q&A and choose all panelists so we're able to see all of the questions. Another question says, I am interested in the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems. Could you tell us more about it?
Yes, absolutely. So the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems is home to a vast majority of engineering research opportunities. I talked a little bit about HALO and the car of the future. Our Eco Car Mobility Challenge is actually housed over there, so that's where the car lives. It's a Chevy Trailblazer right now. It's full of QR codes, but that's where Athlete Engineering is over there. We have our Pepper, our robot, is over there. We have combustion research that's over there. It's a big facility. I don't have the square footage, but it is a large facility. If it's something you want to be involved with, talk to professors. Our professors that work in CAVS are also teachers as well. So get to know your professors and start networking and talking to people and getting connected, and that's how you can get involved with CAVS.
Awesome. Emily asks, can you talk more about chemical engineering, or where can I find more information about it?
Yeah, so chemical engineering at Mississippi State, we have the Dave C. Swam School of Chemical Engineering. It is home to petroleum and chemical. So I tell students, if you are interested in oil or going into the oil industry, petroleum is where you want to be. Obviously, it's a little bit smaller because it is so specialized with that. We also, if you want more of a broad scope, we have chemical engineering. So ChemE has 3 different tracks that you can take. We have chemical engineering practice, which is going right into industry and working. And then we have chemical engineering research and development, which is very self-explanatory. You're doing research and you're doing development. And then we have biomolecular engineering. That is a pre-professional track. So a lot of students don't realize that you can go to medical school and have a biomolecular engineering degree. Well, I'm sure you heard this from Hannah last week, but you can really be any major and be pre-med or pre-health. And so that's going to get you those prereqs to do that. We also have a lot of students that tack on a pre-law minor. And this is something that maybe is not as widely known, but a lot of engineers will go to law school. You work very heavily with patent law because we want to protect what we create. And so that's going to help you with that. So that's a little bit of an overview of the college or the School of Chemical Engineering. But we teach you, what's really neat is we teach you on a very small scale what you would see in industry. That's in our processing lab. We have a 2-story tall distillation tower. So when you go out, if you go to a refinery, you're going to know exactly what's happening because you've already been in lab and seen it on a small scale. So you know exactly what's going on. And that's why our students are sought after.
That's awesome. Can engineering major students participate? Can any engineering major student participate in any engineering competition? For example, could a biomedical engineering student be a space cowboy?
I don't see why not. We do, obviously I said earlier, Nirmal is a mechanical engineering student, and so he is involved with Space Cowboys. With EcoCar, there's like over 200 students that are on the team. Obviously there's core teams for different things. So I'm not going to say no. It just might be a little bit different of a route than most students.
Awesome. So you guys have been asking great questions, and if we weren't able to get to your questions, please email us at admit@msstate.edu. That's ADMIT at msstate.edu. Thank you so much for getting these questions in. If there are any additional questions, be sure to get those into us. But Joy, tell us, what's the best way to contact you?
Yes, so please. I have lots of different ways you can contact me. I have an email, obviously. That's how all of us contact each other. But it's joy, like joy to the world, .smith@msstate.edu. Please reach out to me. I want to work with you. I want to get to know you. I want to hear what your goals and your aspirations are. You can call me in my office. That number is 662-325-7182. I have a work cell. I do text on that phone. I will tell you though, if you text me after 5 o'clock, I'm probably going to respond to you 8 a.m. the next morning, but that number is 321-441-0336. And then there's also social media, right? All students are all over the Twitter and they're all over Instagram. I don't have a TikTok, so I'm sorry. But if you follow me at MSStateJoy, I post updates for the college. I post updates for admissions. I post really pretty pictures of the university because the summer, that was all that there was. So there's lots of ways we get info out there, but those are multiple ways to get in contact with me.
Gotcha. And we fully expect you to get a TikTok and work on TikTok dances. We'll get back to that later.
Yeah, no.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for It's Major with Engineering. I hope you've learned something. And if you have any additional questions, again, email us at admit@msstate.edu. Give us a call at 662-325-2224 or reach out to Joy, who is the admissions coordinator for the Bagley College of Engineering. Thank you again for joining us. And as always, Hail State.